excuse me. Welcome back to Fire Force Anime Review, episode number 39. This is our reviewing the 42nd episode of the anime, A Holy Woman's Anguish, and, well, this it's also it's a two-part story of The Man Assault. I'm also discussing the two most recent chapters in the manga, 250 and 251. Let's discuss this episode. This is an episode that's one entire story arc. You're probably thinking, how the heck is that possible? Well, this episode adapts the shortest arc of the entire series. Really? There's an arc that's really short? Yes. Yes, there is. Well, as this particular one. Yeah. Yep. How short is this arc? Well, actually, it's the shortest one for quite a while. Until they get to the 17th arc, Return to St. Raffles. Yeah, it's the first one for quite a while. Like, the only arc that's really this short is Return to St. Raffles. That's roughly 4 freaking chapters. This one covers 4 chapters of manga. Chapters 148 to 151. Yes, the main portion of the episode, which focuses on the character Sister Iris. That takes from chapters 148 to 150. It's roughly a 3-parter crammed to this thing, and a standalone chapter. I'm not kidding about that. It seriously is. Thing basically is having where, well, they discuss some of the stuff that's happened lately, where not much Hajime per se, but mostly stuff revealed with the Soul Holy Temple. Iris basically is getting kind of, well, uncomfortable and not very sure of herself. So, and they also, well, the thing starts out basically with Company 8 taking out an Inferno, who was the wife of some guy. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward from the manga. After they defeat the creature, after they defeat the person, after they take care of it, they go back to their place and they discover though that a lot of weapons have been blessed yet. So, Sister Iris needs to go to the baptismal church to baptize them. Yes, to baptize the equipment used. The wording is slightly different from the way it was in the manga. So, basically, Shinra is basically volunteered to accompany Sister Iris to the church, and of course he carries all the equipment. And she mentioned she's really strong. She doesn't look like she's that strong at all. She's kind of I mean, she's not like muscular like Maki is. Maki is simply a bodybuilder. While in the case of Iris, she's like very thin. So, they go to the church, and of course Sister Iris takes to be blessed. Though she has some trouble, she's a bit distracted. And in the case of Shima, he just wanders about for a bit, sitting on the bench, and runs into a lieutenant from Company 1. Yes, making his first appearance in the first time he's encountered since the Company 1 arc. And they chat for a while about what's been revealed lately, that possibly that the person who founded the Holy Soul Temple was in fact the evangelist. The wording different in the manga. The manga, they refer to her as the preacher. Yeah, it's a woman. Though they never really show exactly what this person looks like. And that's something quite strange, though. Now, I get the reason why the dub they changed the name from Preacher to Evangelist, because my guess is information, the reason why they changed that, and this is just my personal theory, because they didn't want to offend any churches. Because they want people to think that the churches are evil. So, Evangelist. Yeah, that seems like a more appropriate name for a cult like the white club for the white soldiers. Yeah. And I think also because not a lot of people trust TV evangelists anyway, so why not call it evangelist? Seems more like an appropriate name to call for an American dub than calling a preacher, because that would actually offend people. So that's probably the reason why they changed in the dub. That's just my personal theory. I haven't talked to any voice actors in the show, so I don't really know exactly what the reason for that. But that is my theory in the matter. So I'm talking for a while, and the lieutenant, no, in the manga version was captain. The manga he's still a captain in lieutenant. They chat for a while, and he's worshipped this thing his whole life, so he's not exactly questioning it per se. And of course, also revealed that Shinra and the captain have been looking to the scriptures, and there's some inconsistencies. That's basically what happens here. So after chatting for a while, he gets basically shares some spirits up, and then of course, after the equipment's been blessed, Iris like, okay, before we leave, let's go by the cemetery. And Shira's like, okay, perfectly fine. And they just walk to the cemetery. They come across these sunflowers facing, of course, the sun because, well, they worship the sun a lot. And then they come to a grave of the sisters, basically Iris's childhood friends who all died while they turned to infernals. Yeah, the explanation for this is actually not explained of what exactly happened here until the Return of St. Raphael's arc, which doesn't even feature Shinra at all. Nope. I wouldn't be surprised this arc is brief arc adapted for season 3, if there is season 3. So they see a bunch of flowers there, and Heba basically is hints that she did this, and after praying there, and then of course, Iris basically has some doubts. Shira cheers up by basically saying something nice to her. Also, it's been very heavily hinted at through the whole series that Shira has got a thing for Iris. Despite the fact that, here's the thing, Tabaki, possibly Mika, and Hiba, all basically are attracted to him. Iris, it's possible she is, but it's not really hinted at very much. Shira is like deeply in love with her. It's like very heavily, he's like blushing around her because she says she's hot. Yep. So then one of the priests transforms into an inferno. Yeah, this comes completely out of nowhere. So like if Shira has Iris as a prayer and he defeats it pretty quickly. One of their priests is there, thanks him for being there. Though in the manga he says anytime, and in the anime it's like he was actually here for something else, but this is happy there. The nun that's there basically thinks she was possibly questioning the faith, and Shira's probably thinking, not really. It was probably due to some stuff related to the evangelist. Don't know exactly what the reason, but how I doubt it's due to his faith. And then basically, and then of course he carries the equipment. He carries Iris too. He races back to the company headquarters, and that's where that portion ends. The other portion focuses on the guy who was first appeared in another Wood arc, who is mesmerized by Tabaki. Yep. So he challenges her. Of course, she puts on her nun outfit for some reason. Don't know why. And apparently he's been training himself. And then they actually cut out a shot for the manga. We actually see the other end of Tabaki's pink panties. Yes, she wears pink. Then we do see the other end. Yeah. So basically, they also added this in where apparently, the train himself was not mesmerized by a woman by reading a bunch of porn and watching a bunch of porn too. I'm like, really? Yeah, and then he decided to go to a cabaret where he apparently talked to someone off screen. They actually cut that portion of the anime for some reason. I'm not sure why. Apparently, he's very good at talking to women. Makes him a very good ladies' man. And then he battles Tabaki, where apparently she used try to use her luck, and she ends up going naked again. Making it first time since another walk she actually went completely naked. But at least she's covered this time. And, well, it's very heavily that this guy might be in love with Tabaki. Yep. And that's where the thing ends. Kind of a weird thing to show in the episode, but it's fine to say at least. But hey, they covered one arc for one episode. What's the next one? Joint Investigations. Though if I look at the line, this is going to take up the next 4 episodes, and the last 2 will take up the Stigmata arc. Alright, now we move on to 2 new chapters of the manga, 250 and 251. First up, 250 Dose to Resist. Thing starts off with, the year is 198 of the solar era, since the last cataclysm 20 years past, and now... Yeah, then we see number 29, the moon, basically it's smiling, which, by the way, neither the manga or anime ever questioned why the heck the moon looks like that. I think they briefly mentioned it recently. Like, why does the moon look like that for? Because originally it looked perfectly fine, and then it was changed to, like, the way it looked in the Soul Eater series. The only reason why it's like that is because the creator worked on Soul Eater. Yep. So, then you have a battle between the lieutenant and Shira. And of course, Obi's like, we don't have time for this. We're going to see Tabaki in her nun attire. And then we see one of the Guardians. I don't remember her name. I think she was the Guardian for the fifth pillar. I think it was the one who went crazy. And then we have Arthur versus Dragon again. Another kill about the times to make now. I don't keep count. No matter either way, it's useless, and they continue fighting. They fight, 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 fight. Tower over him. Mike is like, huh? What's over there? It's Maki. Lieutenant basically is having trouble. Like, you lose, company. Our victory is here. The cataclysm is here. Despair. And then the chapter ends with the key going in. Now moving on to chapter 251. Laughter as the shield crumbles. Yep, we get sort of a backstory of the second pillar. And of course, we have Victor basically basically Vulcan, what's this? I'm lost through. Yep. And then we see a flashback of Cher where he's with Hema, the second pillar, and he finds her and basically all by re-emotions. Yes, apparently as a child she apparently had this crown over her face. Now, the manga has never explained why the heck she wears this damn crown over her eyes. It makes no frickin' sense at all. Heck, he wears a blindfold. I keep thinking, how the heck can this guy frickin' see he's wearing a blindfold? So he gets smacked by the girl he's supposed to be guarding. And then we see, looks like Arrow. Yes, Arrow, the woman who's the guardian, who's Zero's guardian. She's talking with Sharon for a while, and then we see her grow up to be a smoking hot babe. Yep. She's maniacal, and of course, she tries to get him calmed down, and of course she punches him, and then she collapses like, you okay? A little violence, I see. How do you feel me? What? How do you, I never give much thought. And then she just sneaks it, or crawls herself basically, like, right into his arm, and she's like, you can see it's how my head, can't you? You can tell. Unconditional love. Like, yep, and, the chapter ends basically with, Shiran possibly dying. You're like, no, you can have the rest on your own. Next chapter is the Doomsday Image. Okay. Interesting to say the least. Yes. These two are pretty interesting for what they are. It advances the arc a little bit, not by much. It feels as though we're just progressing baby steps to this arc. I like the fact we get a chance to see Hera when she's a child, though they still don't explain why the heck she wears the crown on her face, or how the heck Shiran can see with a blindfold on. But these two are pretty good chapters, what they are. I'm going to give chapter 12 a 9 out of 10. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. Next review, at Comic Corner, discussing two old Star Wars trades. You'll find what they are next, okay? Just next video. Bye.